Let's go to the ninth question. Ninth question, I have asked you what is meant by momentum. So it is a very simple task. I explained you that momentum is the difficulty to stop an object's motion. So what is meant by this difficulty to stop an object's motion? Let's say there are two personalities. The first person is thin, about 25 kilograms. Another person who is really fat, about 75 kilograms. These two persons, if they run together, and the person up, the person A runs with a velocity of 10 meters second minus 1. Even the B runs with the same velocity of 10 meters second minus 1. If I ask you, out of these two, which person is hard to stop? Definitely you will answer that person B is hard to stop, because the mass of person B, the weight of person B is higher than A, but these two people have the same velocity. Therefore, the difficulty to stop the object's motion is high to B than A. Therefore, the momentum of B is higher than A. Also, in the second case, there are two personalities. A and B are same weight. Let's say 25 kilograms, same weight. But the person A runs with the velocity of 20 meters second minus 1. But person B runs with a velocity of 10 meters second minus 1. So if I ask you the same question again, out of these two, which person is difficult to stop? That you definitely say that A is hard to stop, because two of their mass are equal but not their velocities. A has a higher velocity than B. Therefore, it is difficult to stop A than B. Therefore, the momentum of A is higher than B. In this case, what we come to conclusion is the difficulty depends on two factors. The first factor is the mass of object. Mass of object. And the second one, the velocity of object. First one is the mass of object and the second one is the velocity of object. As a result of it, the momentum P is gained as P is equal to m into v. The momentum is equal to mass into velocity. The mass should be in kilograms and the v should be in meter second minus 1. The unit of momentum P is kilogram meter second minus 1. So that is what explained by momentum. And the next question what I have asked is, let's go to the final question. The final question, whenever you face such questions, please be kind enough to draw a diagram. Whenever you draw the diagram, you will get the idea immediately. The problem, you are trying to imagine the question by using your brain. It is not possible. First draw the diagram. So simply what I am going to do is, I have given you a question that has a 3 kilogram object. 3 kilogram object. At the initial of time, the momentum is 6 kilogram meter second minus 1. Momentum is 6 kilogram meter second minus 1. So this is the mass. Momentum is 6 kilogram meter second minus 1. So you clearly know that if they have given you the mass and momentum, it is very simple that we define that P is equal to m into v. P is equal to, the momentum is equal to mass into velocity. They have given you the momentum. They have given you the mass. So it is possible to find the initial velocity. So how to find the initial velocity? It is 6, m is 3, and how much the v will be? The v will be 2 meter second minus 1. This is the initial velocity. After traveling for 3 seconds from an external force has been, that is why the velocity is changing after resulting an external force, as a result of external force or the resultant force after 3 seconds, the same object, so 3 kilogram is the mass, the same object 3 kilogram is the mass, P, the momentum increased to 24 kilogram meter second minus 1. So again, P is equal to mv. We know the values of P and M, so you can find V. The V will be 24 is equal to 3 into V. V is equal to 8 meter second minus 1. Now the initial velocity is 2, the final velocity is 8. Therefore, you can come to a conclusion using A, the acceleration is equal to final minus initial velocity divided by the time taken. Therefore, the acceleration is equal to 8 minus 2 divided by the time taken is 3 seconds. So 3, the answer will be 2 meter second minus 2. So I said to you that this is resultant due to a resultant force. This acceleration resulted due to a resultant force. That resultant force, we can find it using F is equal to M into A. So force is the question, mass is 3 kilogram, acceleration is 2, therefore it is 6 kilogram meter second minus 2, that is 6 Newton. The answer is 6 Newton. So they have asked you the question brokenly. The first question they have asked you, what is the initial velocity? 2 meter second minus 1. What is the final velocity? 8 ms minus 1. And then they have asked you, what is the acceleration? 2 meter second minus 2. And finally, the force acted is 6 Newton. Right. So I will summarize the subject. The Newton's laws of motion is the very basic unit in physics. So we studied 3 different laws, first, second and third. In first law, we studied that how an object can be at rest and how an object can move with uniform velocity. So if there is no resultant force, so you should mark down the points. The first one, if there is no resultant force, the object at rest will remain rest. The object moving at uniform velocity will move in the constant velocity. Right? And the second law, we derived an equation that F is equal to M into A. The force is equal to mass into acceleration. In third law, we studied that every action has a equal and opposite reaction. And then we studied about weight. And we derived an equation that W, the weight is equal to mass into gravity. We studied the differences between weight and mass. We studied the differences between weight and mass. And finally, we introduced a term called momentum and we defined what it is. So, the equation here is P is equal to mass into velocity. The questions what you get, usually they used to be inside this. Here, the final question what I gave, if they want to relate the W is equal to mg, they will confuse the question as the object, an object with a weight of 30 Newton. Instead of giving 3 kilogram, they can do it. Because if it is 30 Newton, definitely the mass is 3 kilogram. So these are things what we studied. It is a very interesting and a short part. Please try to understand. You can revise the videos again and again. Subscribe the channel and please follow us and try to understand our videos and give you a comment regarding the